Hey YouTube fans, it's me, the Story Man. Welcome back to my latest video. Today I'll be reading a new story which I made from Chat GPT, which I call Our Own Hero. So remember folks, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and please leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me tell you this once more. The story is made by Chat GPT, but the voice acting, storytelling, narration, dramatic flair, ad-libbing, and narration are done by a real live human being, which I call myself the Story Man, which is me. You can see me on the video. I'm a real human being, not made by AI, a real person. So let's start the story, shall we? The first real superhero appeared on a Wednesday morning, and almost nobody noticed. Fair point though. Since you just came out, no one knows who you are. You're just still a nobody. At 8:14 a.m., a maintenance worker named Elias Day climbed the outer frame of the Halcyon particle array outside Geneva to fix a jammed sensor arm. Seems I can see the origin story right here. The array itself was supposed to be humanity's proudest achievement, a machine designed to study microscopic folds in gravity. Yes. Scientists said it might help solve clean energy, interstellar travel, maybe even the origin of time itself. Fair point though. I imagine we should be traveling more in space. We never bother. We're just only within our planet's range. We never try to go to other planets like Saturn, Jupiter. I'm not saying that planet with that involves a body part. That's just too much of a joke. All right, I'll say it. Uranus, and or Pluto, which I don't know if Pluto's even called a planet anymore, but maybe. I wonder if we actually could do interstellar travel. That would be kind of awesome. Most people just call it the expensive ring thing. I guess it's much easier, but I like to call it the Halcyon particle array, or HPA. I call it the HPA. Yeah, much easier. Elias wasn't a scientist. He was 32, underpaid, divorced, and terrified of heights, despite working dangerous jobs his entire life. Wow, that is impressive. Despite all that happened to you, Elias, impressive. My hat's off to you. You're a much better man than all of us. He had exactly 3 ambitions. 1, pay rent on time. 2, call his daughter more often. 3, survive the week. Fair point though, it's going to be hectic if you're going through that kind of job. Just those 3 things. So repeat. 1, pay the rent on time. 2, call his daughter more often. 3, survive the week. Yeah. Just 3 things. This accident happened because someone dropped a wrench. Sounds like a cliche, but then again, it works. A senior engineer lost his grip of a titanium tool from a platform 60 feet above Elias. He looked up at the wrong moment. Instinct made him twist sideways. His harness snagged. Just like this. The sensor arm activated automatically. Then you array fire. Boom! That's how I imagine, like a repulsor. Witnesses later described the event differently. Some said a spear of blue light swallowed him. Others claimed the air folded inward like water circling a drain. One scientist swore Elias vanished in layers, as if reality peeled him apart frame by frame. It's gonna be hard though to explain something they can't understand, even though they were there. I can imagine that I can't explain it either, even if I saw it with my own eyes. For exactly 1.7 seconds, every electronic device within 20 miles died. Ooh. Then Elias fell back onto the platform. Alive. Wow. Usually, we actually die from that. That's something that should be killed, but this is a miracle. But then again, the story is our own hero, but then you'll understand why he survived. The official report called it a non-fatal radiation incident. Radiation, that thing can bend time and gravity. I think radiation isn't involved. It involves something much more. The government buried the details within hours. Videos disappeared. Employees signed silence agreements. Which are the official term NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, what they call NDAs. The world moved on, except Elias didn't. 3 days later, he woke in his apartment to find every clock frozen at 3:12 a.m. Not broken, frozen. Looks like this might be a superpower. Dust hang motionless in the air. Rain outside his window had stopped mid-fall. Thousands of silver beads suspended over the city. The sound of traffic had vanished. Oh. I think this guy has gained the powers of time itself. He's now literally... I can't say it because I know what it is, but I could get in trouble, so I'll tell you what it is. And I hope YouTube doesn't give me a copyright strike. I'm not telling you. He's something which people call the Doctor from Doctor Who. I ain't telling you. God's apparently I might get in trouble. That's it. I can't mention anyone. Elias stepped outside slowly. The world was paused. Now, not entirely. You can still move, but I imagine this is somebody say, "Whoa, everything is paused. What's going on? You're not dead. It's just stopped." Huh. I can imagine that you would say. So could a stray dog trotting silently down the street, and overhead, airplanes hung in the clouds like pinned insects. He touched a falling raindrop. Time restarted. The rain crashed down all at once. For a long time, Elias told nobody. Because, what exactly do you say? Like, I'm not, well. Alright, this is getting too hard to say, I'll say it. Because I'm a Time Lord. There, I said it. Don't hit me with YouTube copyright strikes, okay? I said it. He's a Time Lord now. He can manipulate time. I'm more happy. Please don't hit me with copyright strikes. That's all I can say. Yeah, I can imagine, like, I can touch time with I have the powers of time because I got hit by HBA, the Halcyon particle array. They got hit me with, bombarded with particles that can involve gravity and time. I can imagine they'll never really, like, he's crazy or something. Or he'll get tasered. Sorry I'm late to work. I actually stopped time while brushing my teeth. Huh, that's the excuse what he did? Huh, I can imagine Elias, I thought my excuse would be a lot better than his, but, close enough. At first, the abilities came randomly. Sometimes objects moved before he touched them. Sometimes he heard conversations seconds before people spoke. Once, while crossing the street, he saw a speeding bus moments before it rounded the corner. Like the future had leaped into his head. The visions got stronger. A child falling onto subway tracks. A gas explosion in an apartment tower. A bridge cable snapping during rush hour. Each time Elias reacted before disaster struck. Videos began spreading online. A blurry man appearing out of nowhere to pull a little girl to safety. A hooded figure carrying 6 people from a burning building in under 10 seconds. Wow. I can imagine wielding the power of time itself is quite an impressive feat, but then again, there were some movies that kind of showed the dangers of messing with it too much. Security footage of someone standing perfectly still while bullets hung frozen in the air around him. The internet exploded! There's a Time Lord! That guy manipulates time! Is this guy a time traveler? I can imagine a lot of time travel guys trying to do that. Some people call him a hoax. Some call him an alien. I wouldn't be surprised aliens can manipulate time. I guess it's possible. We don't know. Others call him proof God had finally answered. Yeah, I don't know. Big Man upstairs is allowed to mess with time, I think. The name Superhero started as a joke from a late-night talk show host. It didn't stay a joke for long. Governments panicked first. Yeah, I can imagine wielding one of the 4 fundamentals of reality kind of be freaking out. Not because Elias attacked anyone. He never did. But because they realized no prison can hold him if he chose otherwise. Fair point though. All I have to do is stop time, just get out, walk out, start time, and he's gone. It's not going to be hard for him. He can just manipulate time himself. Can you imagine that? He can just stop time, just open the lock himself, look around, study everything he needed to go, and leave. And no one would be the wiser. And for him it's just 2 seconds. For everyone else it's just 2 seconds. Military analysts estimate he could disable a nuclear launch before the operators blinked. Intelligence agencies hunted for his identity. Nations blamed each other for creating him. I can imagine that's how the real world reacts if we have a real superhero here in our world. They don't know what to do. They'll just start blaming each other. The blame game. Of course, it'll come up. Conspiracy channels claim there were already more like him hidden around the globe. There weren't. Of course not. Who could survive? What were the odds of someone surviving a halcyon particle array, being bombarded by gravity, being bombarded by particles of gravity and time itself? I can imagine, like, oh God, how would he be alive? There weren't. There was only Elias, and he was scared. Fair point, though. I can imagine wielding one of the four fundamentals of reality. Who's messing with it? I can imagine things could go horribly wrong. That part surprised people later. They expected greatness to feel powerful. And certain. But every time Elias used his abilities, he felt less human. You start seeing time differently. Fair point, though. When you see time move itself, you see things move a little weird. If you played that time-based game made by the creators of Control and Alan Wake, that had live action scenes that featured Lance Reddick, then you understand the dangers of it. You start seeing time differently, not as moments, but as threads. Possibilities layered over each other, futures branching endlessly. He could save a drowning fisherman, and glimpse of war 20 years later sparked because that fisherman survived and founded a political movement. Wow. But remember, to quote from one show I watched, that's just one future you saw. One, not a definitive one, just one future. It doesn't mean it would exactly be that way. That's the flaws of seeing the future. You always see one future that you think you could see, but you don't see all of them. It's an endless amount. And the quote from the game Prince of Persia, time is not a river. It's an ocean of infinite possibilities. We sail through it, but we can end up on anywhere. It's not definitive. It's not absolute. The future is never truly set in stone. Unfortunately, Elias did not see that. He could stop a plane crash and actually preserve the life of a future dictator on board. Every choice became unbearable. For the first year, he barely slept. Then came the Black November storm. A massive cyclone formed in the Atlantic Ocean, accelerated the unnaturally fast toward the eastern coast of the United States. I can imagine it's big like that tidal wave that hit Japan. No offense. I just imagine it. It's just a story. I don't know if it's real or not. It's just made by Chat GPT, so it's just made up. Meteorologists predicted the worst natural disaster in modern history. Evacuations failed. Roads gridlocked. Apologies about that background noise. Meteorologists predicted the worst natural disaster in modern history. Evacuation failed. Roads gridlocked. Power systems collapsed before landfall. People expected governments to save them. Yeah, they will, but knowing our governments, they won't save us as we thought they would. Instead, they saw a single figure walk into the storm. For 13 straight hours, every satellite on Earth tracked impossible events. The hurricane slowed, not naturally, physically. He was using his time. Cloud bands rotated backward. Ocean searches for first direction. Wind walls split around major cities like water around stone. Billions watched live broadcasts as lightning illuminated a lone silhouette above the Atlantic. For the first time, the entire world understood. A real superhero existed. And the laws of nature no longer fully applied. After the storm, Elias disappeared for almost 8 months. Fair point, though. I can imagine Elias not want to ask questions. If people found a way to copy his powers, it would be a hellscape. Time would be destroyed. That would be bad for all of us. All of us. During that time, humanity changed faster than anyone expected. Religions fractured and reformed around the implications of superhuman existence. Stock markets destabilized because words suddenly seemed obsolete. Crime rates dropped in some countries and rose in others. I can imagine can you imagine how their weapons may be effective? Their guns rendered ineffective because someone could stop time itself. What? You think their puny science and puny guns can do anything against a man who can wield one of the four fundamental powers of reality? Can someone really stop that? It's like fighting a giant tsunami with a slingshot. Utterly useless. Every government launched secret program trying to recreate the accident that made Elias. None succeeded. Then one winter night, Elias returned. Not in battle, not in costume, of course. He appeared before the United Nations wearing an old gray jacket and work boots. No mask, no symbol, no dramatic speech. Just a tired man standing before the world. I can imagine, though, that's how our real superheroes in our world would come from. They could be exhausted from doing all this. Broadcasters translated his words into hundreds of languages. And this is what he said. I can't rule you, he said. I won't fight your wars. I won't decide who deserves saving more than someone else. Reporters shouted questions. Politicians demanded allegiance. Military officials demanded oversight. But Elias ignored them. He didn't care. He wanted nothing to do with that. He just wanted to have a life. And he said this. I was never supposed to exist. He continued. But now I do. Every person on earth has to decide something. Fair point though. They had seen a hero wielding powers of time itself. What could they do? How can they stop that? What can they really do? He looked directly into the cameras. And these are his two famous sentences. Let me read. Will you become better because you finally met someone powerful? Or will you become worse? Apologies, let me repeat. I'll repeat these two lines again. Will you become better because you finally met someone powerful? Or will you become worse because you think someone powerful will save you? And then he vanished. Gone. Not dramatically, just gone. Years later, historians would argue that this moment mattered more than the day he got his powers. Because humanity had expected a savior, instead they got a mirror. And that changed the world forever. And that's the story of our own hero. And I'll end it right here. So thank you for watching my video. This is the Story Man signing off. So remember folks, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Remember, hit that like button to give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel, hit that ring bell for the notification, and get an updates from me and what videos I have uploaded. Comment down the comment section below on what kind of story you want me to make. I will make it and I will read it. Any requests you make and what kind of story you want me to make, and I will make it for you. I'll read it maybe with Chat GPT, but I'll give it as much life as humanly possible with my acting, voice acting, dramatic flair, and narration and storytelling. Do all those three things. Let me repeat. Like, comment, subscribe, and this thumb will reach at the end with a thumbs up. Remember, like, comment, subscribe equals a thumbs up from me to you. And remember, the story is made by Chat GPT, but the voice acting, narration, storytelling, dramatic flair, ad-libbing, and narration is done by a real live human being, for which I call myself the Story Man. Thank you and goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Bye.